Comedian Heather McDonald is out of a Valley hospital tonight after she collapsed over the weekend during a show at the Tempe Improv.
They don't really know why she collapsed 3 minutes into her act.
I was just excited to do it.
Celebrity comedian Heather McDonald ready to deliver an evening of material at Tempe Improv.
When it happened, I just couldn't believe it.
Just a few jokes in,
I was starting to feel dizzy, weird. And I was like, wow, this better pass soon. I don't know how I'm going to power through this hour and 10 minutes of material. And that's kind of the last thing I remember.
McDonald says she was talking about how she's vaccinated against COVID and has the booster and her flu shot. She says it wasn't alcohol or COVID. Her management saying she suffered a skull fracture in the fall.
You want to see the video? You want to see the act? You want to see her collapse? It's not gruesome, but all right, I'm going to show you anyway.
I don't mean to brag. I don't care, but I want you to know, double vaxxed, booster, flu shot, and I'm going to be honest, I have the shingle shot too. And I still get my period. What? Yes! Traveled, went to Mexico twice, did shows, meet and greets, never got COVID. Clearly, Jesus loves me the most. Seriously. So nice. So nice.
That looked like it hurt. That sounded like it hurt. I watched it a couple times through, and damn, she really did hit her skull so hard that she fractured it. Now, she could have been talking about anything else. Anything else. And perhaps Jesus wouldn't have been like, oh, no, thou shalt not use my name with such heresy. And just the power of the Christ consciousness takes over neurotransmitters, too much DMT, and bam, she's out like a light. I don't mean to bring light to this because the next part of this story is where she has gone now with her thought process, because look at this tweet. She's saying, oh my God, Bob Saget hit his head and went back to sleep. I'm freaking out. Here we see in People magazine, Bob Saget died due to head trauma. His family confirms 1 month after he was found dead in Orlando hotel. Now let's show you the last interview Bob did.
Man, well, when you feel better and you're not contagion, come see me. I'll be doing New York. I'll be doing the city. I'll be doing all around. I'm touring the whole country trying to make people laugh. And so I just got my booster, so I'm going to keep, I don't know what that's worth because a new variant comes out every 10 minutes, but what the hell? I'm going to go make people laugh.
So now we have two incidents where comedians are talking about injections, talking about boosters right before. Now, Bob, obviously, this wasn't literally a couple seconds before. And Heather McDonald, it was almost divinely placed, if you think about it. It was literally right after she was doing this one part of her skit. It almost seems like it's staged, but if it's not, it's, to me, interesting. Two comedians, seemingly the same kind of scenario. Am I allowed to hesitate? Am I allowed to hesitate before undergoing a medical procedure? Because that's what an injection of a new, novel kind of vaccine is. It's a medical procedure. I am not in the inner circle that's allowed to look at all the ingredients, and it has to penetrate my skin via my consent. I'm hesitant to give my consent. What does that make me look like? Because I'm not suggesting any of this for any of you. I have to be very clear, probably legally so. I am not suggesting anything for you. I'm simply showing two pieces of information. And if I were to say anything about it, now I want to show you what that might look like if I say I distrust either any governmental agency or potentially even some collusion between governmental agencies and corporate products that wish to penetrate my skin. Let's take a look at this from the Homeland Security Bulletin. Posted on February 7th, 2022, the United States remains in a heightened threat environment fueled by several factors. So they're making a statement about why the United States government is in a threat environment. It says, including an online environment filled with false or misleading narratives and conspiracy theories. Oh, okay, so it's also what's happening online that's creating the threat environment. And other forms of mis, dis, and malinformation introduced and or amplified by foreign and domestic threat actors. That could be anybody. I'll go on. These threat actors seek to exacerbate societal friction. They're making a statement on what this entire category of people, and they will be the deciding factor of who falls into that. They're making a direct statement about who these people are that fall into it. These threat actors seek to exacerbate societal friction, to sow discord and undermine public trust in government institutions, to encourage unrest. Actor in furtherance of ideological beliefs and or personal grievances, pose an ongoing threat to the nation. The conditions underlying the heightened threat landscape have not significantly changed over the last year. The convergence of the following factors has increased the volatility, unpredictability, and complexity of the threat environment. Okay, here's where I'm going to stop it real quick, because they're making a very specific statement. This is who we are looking at. This is how we're changing the definition, updating, they would say, the definition of who is a domestic terrorist. That's a serious claim. This is not a joke. Serious claim for Homeland Security to make. And in the very same statement, they're saying these actors seek to exacerbate societal friction, to sow discord and undermine public trust. They're saying pretty much that conspiracy theorists, regardless of what conspiracy theory they're actually even talking about, they left it that vague. Here are the telltale signs of a domestic terrorist. Number one, the proliferation of false or misleading narratives which sow discord or undermine public trust in U.S. government institutions. The vague term here is misleading narratives. That's hard not to do. All news gives misleading narratives according to their opponents. But the opponents are very important. These are the checks and balances to make sure that we are not allowing too much power in the hands of too few. Let's hop back in. Number two, continued calls for violence directed at U.S. critical infrastructure. Misleading narratives is a far cry from calling for violence against your own country. Number three, calls for foreign terrorist organizations for attacks on the United States based on recent events. So we're running into a very big problem here, because number two and number three are unacceptable. I get that. However, number one, sharing a misleading narrative, just sharing a misleading narrative, that's it, puts you into the same category as a domestic terrorist. What does that mean they can do from that point forward? What happens to your record? That's a huge problem, because I love my country. I love the people in this country. I love the people of the world. I love the world itself. I love the people that I disagree with. I love the people that probably dislike or hate me the most. All I'm doing is sharing stories. But some institution can come in and say, you know what, that's a misleading narrative. And then what does that mean for me? Oh, that doesn't matter. That's just statistics. Justice is blind. I'm not sowing seeds of any distrust. Trust whomever your intuition tells you to trust. That's what I call forth. As far as a superhuman power within you, I evoke your intuition to discern whether you believe the information you're reading. I say follow the science, follow a bunch of things. Follow your intuition is probably the number one for me. What category does that put me in? That I simply say, follow your intuition. I hope that any government agency that might hear these words, data aggregator that might be siphoning off the data and the information that I put out there on the internet, hear me. People of YouTube, people of other social media platforms, whether you fall on the left or fall on the right, share this video. What do you think of this? Because I'm curious. I'm not at all worried, because I know there is a conspirator beneath and deeper than any human being, and that conspirator wishes well for all sentient beings on Mother Earth. Go to benjosephstewart.com, sign up for the exclusive content. I'm able to share my voice for now a little bit more openly there. And you know what? I don't even get into dark territory over there, other than saying, yes, these are threats that are on the horizon. Do you want to know about them? Do you want to know what other people are saying about them? Then come check it out. If you don't, I recommend you don't. Just don't check it out. And that's why it's behind a paywall. You have to give a gesture to say, I want to know what you think, Ben. That's my disclaimer. And I'm not even going to say, unfortunately, I have to give a disclaimer. You know what? I'll play ball. So I love you all. Check out the Discord group. These conversations are lighting up, and I'll catch y'all next time on Waking Infinity News.